What would you sacrifice everything for? Your career, your freedom, even your life. In 18th century Japan, 47 masterless samurai would answer this question with the ultimate price. In 1701, Lord Asano Naganori seemed to have it all: wealth, status, and influence as a daimyo, feudal lord in the Tokugawa shogunate. But when he was assigned to assist in preparing a reception for the emperor's envoys at Edo Castle, his world would crumble in an instant. The shogun appointed Lord Kira Yoshinaka, a corrupt court official, to train Asano in the proper ceremonial protocols. What happened next would echo through Japanese history for centuries to come. Imagine being publicly humiliated and stripped of everything you've worked for. That's exactly what drove one desperate lord to commit an act that would make history. The relationship between Asano and Kira quickly soured into bitter hatred. Kira reportedly demanded increasingly large bribes from Asano, who refused to pay the corrupt official's demands. Tensions escalated until, on April 21, 1701, Asano finally snapped. Drawing his sword in the sacred halls of Edo Castle, a capital offense, he attacked Kira, wounding him before being quickly subdued by guards. For this unforgivable breach of protocol, Asano was immediately ordered to commit seppuku, ritual suicide, his family name destroyed and his lands confiscated. Kira, meanwhile, suffered no consequences for his role in the incident. When your master dies and your family is destroyed, what choices do you have left? For 47 loyal warriors, the answer was both simple and impossible. Asano's retainers, 300 samurai who had served his family for generations, suddenly found themselves in an agonizing position. With their lord dead and his line ended, they became Ronin, masterless warriors, outcasts in feudal Japanese society. Most chose to serve new masters or fade into obscurity. But Asano's chief retainer, Oishi Kuranosuke Yoshio, faced an impossible dilemma that would split his soul in two. Under the strict code of bushido, the way of the warrior, he was honor-bound to avenge his master's death. Yet, challenging Kira directly would mean certain death for himself and his remaining followers. What happened next would become one of history's most calculated acts of revenge. What if you had to pretend to be a drunken fool for 2 whole years just to get close enough to kill your enemy? This is exactly what Japan's most famous samurai did. Oishi made a shocking decision that horrified his fellow samurai. He would feign drunkenness and debauchery to convince Kira he was no longer a threat. For over 2 years, Oishi lived as a drunkard, frequenting brothels and appearing as a broken man who had given up his quest for vengeance. Meanwhile, 46 other loyal retainers scattered across Japan, secretly preparing for their mission while maintaining their cover. Some worked as merchants, others as monks, all while never forgetting their sacred duty. Kira, believing the threat had passed, let his guard down completely, a fatal mistake that would cost him everything. How do you pull off the most famous revenge attack in history when your target is protected by an army? The answer lies in patience, planning, and perfect timing. On the bitterly cold night of December 14, 1703, the 47 Ronin sprang into action. Dividing into 2 groups, they launched a coordinated assault on Kira's heavily fortified mansion in Edo. One group scaled the walls and overpowered the guards, while the other forced the main gate. Inside, they found Kira cowering in a storage shed, begging for his life. Oishi reportedly said, "Kira, you know what we have come for. You know what you must do." When Kira refused, the Ronin killed him, taking his head as proof of their completed mission. What do you do after completing the ultimate act of revenge? For these warriors, their greatest battle was yet to come. With Kira's severed head in hand, the 47 Ronin marched through the snow to Asano's grave at Sengaku-ji Temple, placing the head on his master's tomb as an offering. They then turned themselves in to the authorities, knowing their fate was sealed. The government was torn. While the Ronin had violated the law by taking justice into their own hands, their unwavering loyalty and adherence to Bushido had created a powerful public spectacle. After heated debate, the shogunate ordered all 47 Ronin to commit seppuku, which they did with honor on February 4, 1704. Why do we still talk about these samurai 300 years later? because their story represents something eternal about loyalty, sacrifice, and the price of honor. The 47 Ronin were buried alongside their master at Sengaku-ji Temple, where their graves remain a pilgrimage site to this day. Their story became the basis for countless plays, films, and books, most famously Chikamatsu Manzaimon's Chūshingura, the treasury of loyal retainers. In Japanese culture, they represent the highest ideals of bushido, loyalty, courage, and self-sacrifice. But their legacy also raises eternal questions about duty versus law, individual honor versus social order, and whether some principles are worth dying for. In a world where such absolute codes of conduct seem foreign, the 47 Ronin remind us that some debts of honor can never truly be repaid.